Hello, everyone, and welcome to the best day of the season. We have that's right, four new cards releasing with the start of the season. We're going to preview all four. We also have a patch, so if humanly possible, I will get a second video up for you with the patch review. If not, you'll get two videos tomorrow, and one of them will be a review of the patch and the new data mines that come out of it. But we got to start today by talking about Morgana Lefay. Not Morgana, I call her Morgana. I have no idea why. She is a 4/7. I know it says 4/5. She was updated in the dev video. So assuming that that is correct, she's going to be a 4/7. On reveal, return all your discarded and destroyed cards to hand with +3 power. So a lot of people are looking to use her in destroy and discard decks, and I think that's probably wrong. In discard decks, yes, if you discard Hell, you get it back, but then you have nothing else discarded, and getting Hella back is no longer of any real use at that point. So I'm not sure that that's going to be very good. Meanwhile, in destroy decks, 90% of the things you destroy are cards that are, in fact, not going to get fully destroyed. Your Deadpools, your Wolverines, your X-23s won't come back with this. So there's not a super great use for it either. Those things in combination mean that I believe this is a new type card. It's ultimately impossible to know how good a new archetype card is going to be until it comes out. We've received new archetype cards that have been very powerful this year. Cards like Victoria Hand, which creates Victoria Hand generation decks, and cards like Bullseye, which created a new version of discard, were both very good. They seem to be doing a better job at developing and releasing these cards that create new archetypes lately. As such, I'm going to assume they hit again with Morgan Le Fay, and she's going to be a very powerful card. I do have a deck for you to try with her. Day one, this is the one that I will be playing. I will be streaming tonight. I've got four cards to test at the new season, so I'm assuming it's going to be kind of an ordeal this stream, but we got to do a big old stream, and we're going to start with Doc Guapo's Bounce Lefay. Doc Guapo is one of the best bounce players in Marvel Snap. He plays a lot of bounce into the top 100 and often top 20-ish of the leaderboard with his own builds. So I asked him, what the hell can Morgan work as a bounce card? And this is what he came up with. We'll talk about the card by card in a moment. But first, if you need, sorry, the cards you need are Morgan, Sage, Nico, and Hitmonkey. Silver Sable can be Hood or Chavez. Firehair seems good here, but not amazing. Elixir, Killmonger, or my personal favorite replacement, Black. All right, so our main goal here is to play 3/1s, eat them, play Morgan, replay them. Nice and simple, right? If you can do that, you're going to be very, very ahead. So if you go 1/1/1 and then you Carnage it, you go 1/1/1 and then you Venom it, and then you play Morgan on turn 4, you're good to go. You've probably got enough power to win most games. Now, the cards we're using here for that effect are Silver Sable, Hawkeye, Rocket, and Nico. Rocket requires a prediction, so it's the hardest of these to use, but has the highest ceiling, getting +4 each time. Silver Sable can potentially work as a +4 because you are, if the opponent plays the card that's Sable, they tend not to do that multiple times, but if they do it once, that's an extra effective 2 power on Sable. Hawkeye is a little hard to use because if you bounce him too soon, he doesn't get his buff, but outside of that, very strong. And then Nico gives you some optionality with a bunch of options. Copy spells for Venom or Sage, blowing up a card to draw and make sure you see the important stuff, and that blowed up stuff will come back for more stuff like that. Carnage is one of your three. Sorry, only two destroy procs here. In my head, always three. I feel like Killmonger's here, not. But we've got Carnage and Venom as our destroy cards here. Venom is obviously generally better if you're going to get like hit with a rocket and play a Hawkeye. Then all of a sudden your Venom's going to be reasonably big, and you love to make that Venom big and then get those cards back with +3 power. Seems like a really, really strong thing to do. Um, we do have Bounce as a backup outside of Carnage and Venom. So even if we don't get our Destroy Morgan play, right? Let's say that doesn't end up working, we can still play a Bounce package with Toxin Beast. And then in order to win with that Bounce package without the extra 3 power from Morgan, we've got Sage and Hitmonkey. That is fundamentally how this works. All right. As we go further, Firehair seems incredibly strong here. She does push things back one turn. She makes it significantly harder to get your destroy going on turn 3, or to get enough destroys going on turn. However, if Firehair suddenly gets that Hawkeye buff, if Firehair suddenly gets that Rocket buff, that Sable buff, that's really good. Now all of a sudden Firehair is a power threat in a lane, not just a regular old I'm good. So a power threat in a lane that is Firehair seems. Again, Sage and Hitmonkey give us a bounce package, a way to win with those bounce cards. And Morgan is like, if I'm playing at the end of the game, I'm playing 3/1s that have +3 power. So I'm playing a 1/8 Rocket. I'm playing a 1/7 Hood, and then whatever for Nico or Hawkeye, whatever. Then I play Hitmonkey. I feel like I'm probably favored to win that match. So I'm very excited to try this. There's also the combo, sorry, with Beast, where if you do get the Morgan destroy and replay on turn 5, you can play 2 on turn 5 and beast them, and then go even crazier turn. So turn 1, Hawkhair, Sable. Turn 2, ones or Firehair. If you have the right Destroy, I'd probably drop the ones. If I have the right whole setup. If not, I'm going to go Firehair. Turn 3, Beast Bounce or more ones plus Firehair. And if you have 3 ones to eat, you're gonna do that and eat it with hand. If you get the Beast Bounce and you have the Destroy, you can do the Beast Bounce, replay all the ones, get the trigger again, and then you can destroy them the next turn, which works just as well, and then you'll have to Morgan on turn 5. Turn 4, Morgan or Destroy. Destroy I just described. Turn 5, Morgan, if you did the like I beasted on turn 3 play and destroyed on turn 4. Now you're going to Morgan on turn 5, and then you're going to have the ones to play at the end with Monkey. Or you can replay and bounce a bunch of. Turn 6, replay ones, and then you play Sage or Monkey, and you win. This seems like it might be enough power to push Bounce back into the competitive metagame. I think this, and then the I destroy a bunch of cards and play Death, and then I get those cards back for a ton extra power, but Death is already discounted, are going to be the 2 ways to play this card. I'm curious to see if anyone comes up with anything else. Again, new cards that create new archetypes are super cool. The other stuff we're going to look at doesn't create new archetypes, it just goes in good decks. But so it's very cool that while they gave us 3 cards that sort of amplify known archetypes, they also give us something brand new. Please hit that sub button if you're willing to. A sub, like, and comment really help out the channel, and we can help. Got a few subs fewer than usual lately as far as how fast the channel is growing, so any support would help. We're trying to hit 25,000 subs this year, and we do need some help to get there. We are actually now on pace. So if you're willing to help, that would mean a lot. In return, we will give you the most Marvel Snap videos, the most thorough and comprehensive Marvel Snap videos with the best decks from the best players that you can't get from anyone. Please hit that sub button. We will also this week, literally this week, be giving away 5 copies of Merlin. Every day's video comes with a copy of Merlin. All you have to do is sub, like, and then later in this video, I'm going to ask you a specific comment. You leave that comment, you are entered to win the former Sorcerer Supreme. Speaking of Merlin, he is a 2/3. At the start of each turn, add a wizardly incantation to your hand. The incantations are completely crazy. Let's keep in mind that this is a 2/3, and he passively generates you 1. So we have Omniversal Presence, which has replaced this location with a new one and give Merlin +2 power. That turns Merlin into a 3/5 location changer. That is Nocturne. Incredibly strong, right? I feel like this is probably why they buffed Storm. The Magic decks are all over the place. Having Merlin on the board means that those cards and decks are fundamentally way, at least in my. Assuming that this is remotely as good and consistent as I think, this one seems like it might be the sleeper best spell. Reality Stone is one of the sleeper reasons that Thanos is so strong. This is going to be one of the reasons Merlin. It fundamentally turns any deck into a deck. And there we've got once in future. Shuffle your lowest power card here into your deck to get +2 next turn. Lowest power is really cool. So first of all, we're going to be trying to things like Hood, right? But and extra energy is always good. You can obviously do very powerful things with that, especially when you're giving away low power to have the ability to play more power, because +2 energy means that, like, assuming the thing you play is a 1 plus Merlin's 1, you're technically net even on energy, but you have more explosiveness, more unpredictability, and more expensive things to play equals more powerful things. So this is probably the weakest of the spells, but it is still really good. So fundamentally, what we want to do is we want to get rid of cards like Hood, but the other thing that this card really allows us to cut down Clog, or just those annoying locations that pop up. You are energy plus if there's squirrels located, right? If Central Park pops up, or if the Savage Land pops up, or if one of those locations that gives a rock on the board, whatever other nonsense happens, you just drop a 1 future and your problem is solved. And then what I think is likely the second best of the spells is Polymorph. There is 1 change to this. Transform your lowest power other card here into one that costs 1 more. So you transform a card into one that costs 1 more. That is Cersei. That's a 1 cost Cersei trigger. Hell yeah, I will be doing that to my voids all over the place. That's incredibly powerful and incredibly useful. Again, we've now got 2 ways to handle the Hood for this card. It's fundamentally impossible for opponents to play junk with this. I think that's incredible. We have a bunch of 1 cost on reveals, and I haven't heard people talk about this, but Eggy sent me a deck that I'll be playing on stream that 1 cost on reveals mean werewolf. We've got annihilist decks, we've got werewolf decks, we've got anti-clog, we've got this getting a bunch of 1 cost in hand means that this is going to work really well with Athena. We've got a million different ways to use Merlin, and I think that this card is going to be incredibly strong. So GD McDonaldinho sent me this Annihilus deck that he's been crushing with, and when I talked to him about it, I was like, I think I might feature it on Tuesday. He was like, well, Surge gets cut for Merlin the instant Tuesday happens. So I'm going to listen to him, since it's his deck, and replace Surge for Merlin. What does Merlin do here? Well, you see the Hood and you Annihilus just like I do, right? Also, being able to get rid of locations that are problematic seems really, really good here. And I have Sam's Shield that I can make a 1-cost card if I don't see Sam. I have a Viper that I can make a 4-cost card once I've used it. I've got all these incredibly useful and powerful options. I can turn the Void into a 5-cost card. Um, that's obviously almost certainly going to be better than a 4 -8. All of those are insanely strong. I cannot be more excited for Merlin. We've got JD McDonaldino on Twitch at that exact name. Streamer. Was number 4 on the Infinite Leaderboard a while ago. Pain in my butt, but a really good player. Meme king of Marvel Snap, sorry and terror. This needs Batrock, Sam, Annihilist, and Madam Web. Those are your 4 needed cards there. Madam Web is incredible. We'll get to why in the turn by turn. Stomper, Merlin, Madam Web can be Craven or. Alright, so let's go through some. Hood is here to be sent over. You've got Viper, Annihilist, and then Merlin to mess with that card. Plus, you get a 1/6 for your trouble. So you get a card that helps enable your deck, and then you get a 1/6 to play. 1/6s are huge and amazing, and you're happy to have them. But Batrock's more like a 1/8 on the downside, very often a 12, which means that you're happy to have Batrock as well. You play one of the biggest cards in the game. As you play Batrock, a combo with Sam and a combo with Silk, you get a really big Hydra Stomper who's more likely to be a 3/8, 3/9 than a 3/12. But hey, again, a 3/8, 3/9 is still well ahead of rate, and it's just for doing what they do. Merlin is very, very strong here for the reason enumerated prior. Void, Hood, Madam Web, if you're not getting any real use out of her, being able to turn an unmoving Batrock into something better. There's just a million different uses for Merlin. Very strong card. Spider-Man seems like it doesn't fit. It's like, why would you not run Craven? That was my immediate thought because I've got all these move cards. But what Spider-Man allows me to do is go, if I play Sentry, it allows me to go Spider-Man Viper on turn 5, Spider-Man to pull a card out, Viper to send a Void over. Now they are now clogged and kind of screwed. Incredibly, incredibly strong. Also, obviously, a trigger for Batrock, a trigger for Hydra Stomp. Silk is just constant movement. That's a lot of power for Hydra Stomper. You're happy to have it. Hydra Stomper, we talked about 5 different ways it gets buffed, right? We got Batrock, Madam Web, Sam, and his shield, Spider-Man, and Silk. Hydra Stomper get big. Viper can send over the Hood, or can send over Void. It can also be used just like sort of send over a rock if that can win you. That kind of thing is useful in the game. Miles Morales is a 1/6. Again, we 6s. Sentry is the key card to the list because you have Merlin and Nihilus to get rid of it. So you're and Viper to get rid of it, and you're very likely to be able to find use for it. Or 9 is really great when played with, especially when played with the 5/8. You love to see it. Tons of power there. Your end game, if you do find a different way to send Void over, it can still just be like Hood and an opponent if they're gonna do. Incredibly strong list. Nihilus was buffed down. This one has a 75% win rate in 20 games with Surge in that Merlin spot. Merlin is an upgrade here, though, because Surge is an extra energy. This deck doesn't really need nice. It's not going to turn down power, but that's not what the deck is about. I'm not sure about the snap conditions because this deck hasn't come out yet, but Batrock or Hood, pending hand. Merlin over Sam over Web right. Web right, because if you trade, you can then move trade with Madam Web and choose where you want a Viper or choose where you want to play that Annihilus. It's very strong. Turn 3 is a 2 over Stomper. Turn 4 is Sentry over 2/2. Sentry is incredibly important. It would not shock me if Sentry ends up the snap. If Sentry, you can either move Void with Web and Annihilus, or you can Viper Spidey, or you can just drop Annihilus, or you can drop with a Merlin card and play Stomper. You have a lot of options. If you didn't play Sentry, you're just going to play a bunch of move cards and do your best to move cards. You can also still play Sentry on turn 5 because so many of the ways to answer it are so. Turn 6, Annie and a 1, or Stomper and. Holy crap. This list is awesome. I'm so excited for this. This will be the first thing I play on stream. So excited to absolutely rock people. Miserable with it. I'm so happy Annihilus is back. It's one of the coolest cards in the game. Annihilus, generally speaking, in the best decks has historically not been Clog. It's been a mini Clog package. It's been Hood, Void, and Annihilus, Hood, Sentry, and Annihilus. And now we got that as our package with this package. Again, beyond excited. And we'll also try the Eggy deck, the Werewolf one, that I want to talk to you about later. Hey, this is where I'll be streaming, twitch.tv/PulseGlazer if you want to see the decks in live about 8 p.m. Eastern if you're interested. Season pass question: which card releasing today are you most excited for? We have 2 more cards to talk about, so don't judge too. Our first of which is Nicholas Scratch, and this is probably not the one I'm excited for. After you play a skill, +1 power. So this seems like it could be good eventually, but for the time being, you're very rarely going to play more than one turn. There's going to be a lot of turns you skills. So if you play him on one, let's say you play 3 skills, thanks to Merlin, because you're not going to spend all, right? If you spend 2 of your Agamotto skills, you have a, then you spend 2 Merlin skills, you have a 1/6, the 1/4 to 1/6 to 1/8 maybe if you're lucky. This seems kind of a weird design decision, and the game that just gave us Batrock, who's just significantly better and cooler. But I think this is a C. We do have a deck for him. I decided to try him in this deck. I'm not sure if I want Captain Marvel or Enchantress in the spot. Really excited to try Enchantress with buffs that this deck can really get out because I have extra energy for those buffs from both Merlin and Agamotto. I can throw Scratch or Kitty or Zabu or whatever Iron Patriot in the deck and then get some really out of that, and I think that's probably worth it. Very, very solid list. I love season passler style lists, so I'm just gonna keep trying to make. This one is sort of based on an old Sizer deck. I put it together myself though, so me. There's that to be said. This deck needs Galactic Wind, Scratch, Surge, Iron Patriot, Merlin can be Sam, Angela, one. Agamotto can be Enchantress or Shang, and can also be Captain Marvel. If you're running Nicholas Scratch though right now, with only 2 skill developing cards in the game, you are going to need. So Kitty is here largely for Hope Summers. It's a really good buff for Hope. Also really solid as a hit for Galacta. Galacta on turn 5, if you didn't get extra energy, will often need a card to be played with. Kitty bad. Nicholas Scratch is here because if you play Merlin, you should be able to play a skill most other turns, especially if you Hope as well. And at that point, you end up with a D Scratch. He's probably the first cut in the list. Probably now. This is just the best I could. Zabu has 4 targets here. I know it looks like 3, but Images of Icon is counted by Zabu. Then you have Sam, Galacta, and Gwenpool. Any of them incredibly useful. Uh, Captain Marvel at 3, Juggernaut game, especially Captain Marvel buff, and then Galacta and Gwenpool at 3, them early, which is insanely strong. Surge does the same thing, makes Force 3. Iron Patriot gives you the chance at a really powerful surprise card that wins you extra cubes. Merlin says, "Oh, I didn't like that location. Oh, Zabu's already used. Let's make that something better. Oh, like just a million, right? I've got +2 energy now. Okay, let's turn Iron Patriot into a cost card. That's Juggernaut wins you a lane on the cheap. Hope Summers. This deck does a lot of extra energy stuff. It wants to play basically every card. So we've got Hope Summers as a way to get extra energy, along with Merlin and Agamotto. We already talked about Captain Marvel, Galactic Gwenpool, and then Agamotto has Bolts of Balthak, which is our energy, and Images of Icon, which can copy either Patriot card or Galacta or Gwenpool to win. Turn 1, Zabu over Scratch. Turn 2, sorry, Zabu over Scratch over Kitty. Turn 2, Merlin equals Surge over 1 equals Patriot. I don't know if Merlin or better on turn 2 in this list. My gut says not Merlin because I want Galacta or Gwenpool my first hit. Galacta or Gwenpool on turn 3 for Hope over 2 and start considering to Balthak. You can Balthak on turn 4 is the same as 3. Balthak and a 1-drop spell is incredibly strong combo though. Icon, you want an icon like Galacta, Icon Gwenpool on turn 5. You can also play Captain Marvel and a 1-drop just fine. Then turn 6, Juggernaut and Marvel, Juggernaut and whatever else you can to. With Thanos less prominent, this deck has a chance at being a contender. Another one that I will be trying on. I think it's cool. I think it's probably weaker than the Annihilist versions, but I do think it is worth it. If you'd like an overlay, if you're a content creator and you would like to do anything, please check out my friend Bitwiddle, who does all the thumbnails, all the graphics on the channel. If you're interested, please do check him out. All info on this. Our last card that we're going to talk about here is Jennifer Kale. I'm going to make 1,000 Kale jokes. I don't think I'm going to do it today, but it's going to start happening. Jennifer Kale is activate. Next turn, you get plus energy. +1 energy. That's not bad on a 2/2. That is a ramp into 5 card when you play it on 2, a ramp into 6 card when you play it. But the real goal of this is to. Luna is still the best ramp into 5 card in Marvel map, but having a backup in Jennifer Kale is very, very useful. A card you can play on turn 2. We were trying Penny Parker in that spot, but Penny Parker is awkward, right? Penny Parker doesn't always hit the right thing. You don't always play. Sometimes you have a 3 that you'd rather play next turn. You can't get your ramp going. Jennifer Kale cuts off those problems, set it and forget it. W has this very successful list that's been around that was running Penny Parker in the Kale spot. We don't want to play Psylocke on turn 3, but if we play Jennifer Kale on turn 2, we get the benefit of change without having any. This is a really cool list that wins a lot of games by attacking it. You can find W at twitter.com/W_Snap. There was a time, once upon a time, when he. This deck needs Fenris Wolf and Proxima Midnight. Red Guardian can be Rogue. Jennifer Kale can be Penny or Psylocke. Bob can be Sable, Nico, or Hawkeye. Classic Hawkeye. Electra is here because it's just sort of decent right now. There's enough annoying stuff in the meta that Electra being able to take something out is. Matrock is probably the best target around right now, but hey, like a 20 power Human Torch, especially Fenris Wolf, that's pretty. Hydra Bob is Hydra Bob is Hydra Bob. Hydra Bob is good. It's just the best one in the game. Lost cards because you just take 1/4 that you can. Jennifer Kale is our ramp. We want a Black Bolt on turn 4 if possible. We'll play Claw on turn 4. We really want a Black Bolt on turn 4. Jennifer Kale gets us there. Fenris Wolf is our ability to Knight or Black Bolt a card away or Gambit a card away and get it back. Get back the best of those options. Gambit is a last turn play meant to basically variance to win the game. Juggernaut gives you a lane winner. Moon Knight can hopefully discard an important card from the deck. Opponents really right now are playing like sort of combo-y decks, and thus they are very much going to struggle with like getting like multiple cards discarded. So Moon Knight is that. Red Guardian's here because Cerebro is every freaking where. Proxima is only really discarded by Moon Knight, but it can be discarded by Gambit if you get lucky. Free 7 power is pretty damn good. Claw is very big. Black Bolt is likewise a powerful card here. In order, Black Bolt and Moon Knight both make stature a 1/7, which gives you a powerful endgame play on top of everything. Disruptive and powerful and has taking all sorts. Turn 1 Bob, turn 2 Kale over Fenris. Turn 3 is usually a 2. You can do Moon Knight if Proxima is the cost card in your hand, otherwise a 2. Turn 4 Black Bolt over Claw over Moon Knight. Turn 5 we're going Black Bolt or Claw, Fenris plus Moon Knight, Red Guardian, Stature, some combination. Then turn 6 you generally want to place Gambit, Juggernaut, Stature, Electra, and combination of those. Kale is kind of a boring card, but I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to find some decks and find some home. Sarah decks love kind of card, right? Where you can just sort of drop it, set it, and forget it. It's going to find a lot of homes. It's going to help cards like Infinite Giltron. Not an amazing card, but a fun one to have in the game. Question of the day. It's back. I need some questions of the day. If you want to join the Discord and send some, I'd appreciate it. Our question is from Philly. What are my thoughts on the new Doctor? I don't want to spoil who the new Doctor is in case anyone hasn't seen it, but my thoughts are it doesn't matter. My problem with the most recent of Doctor Who has been the writing isn't. I really love the current Doctor whose name I'm not going to pronounce. I love that actor. I thought he was. I think that he is a delightful human being. I have not liked the plots and the writing in several seasons. I want to very badly. If the writing gets better, it's whatever the Doctor is going to be success. I personally also thought the writing fell apart in the Capaldi record, so I'm a little picky with my preference for Doctor Who. Like my tastes are my own. I'm not saying good, but I didn't like the Capaldi season, let alone anything thereafter. So at the end of the day, I think I just either I don't like Doctor Who anymore, or I just need better writing. So I'm hoping that it is the latter because a lot of people seem to have fallen off it, and I'm hoping that some better writing pulls me back because I will give it a chance every Doctor turn. To support on our Patreon, come with on our thanks. I'm going to say thank you to a whole lot of people. Thank you to Bricks2Click, our patron of the month, Abigail Leeson, Manager Burner, It Reek, Carlos, LAB, Inc., I Am Frostman, Hota, Never Anything Poker, Ryan Bryant, Ryan Burke, and Ryan Snap. Got Ryan Wood Snap on YouTube, please. 500 subs. Congrats, Ryan Wood Snap. Ryan Wrench, Caretix, Lee, The King Questions, Koire, Kazushi, Archangel 3K, Black Dahlia, Profros, The Goats here, Goatsy, and Code Align. Hallowed, Only Fox Synth, Fat Nick, Shannon, and where you been, man? All right, Nightmare. Dirty, Casual, Filthy, even Mr. Kerfuffle, Cables, Traveling the World, Ginger Prime, Sub Ginge, Billy, Philip Rakovich, just got a question from him, Upload, Taplo Ning, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, The Bizza, Black Sheep 23, Extra Sweet and Skippy G, Rhyming Friends, Jessica Gamble, Mr. Slush at the Kinker Bros, Brup, The Great Kazoo, Werewolf, Gibbs, Yehuda, Luna, Ludicrous Clam, Colonel Foreman, Rob Subman, David G, Wingfield, Stephen, Brian Kaufman, Tristan H. Martin, Jason B, Mr. Craig Starium, Matt V, and Corey, down, Corwin, Chunk U, and Jimmy Q, down, yes, out, A stage, 1 man. Milkman for reals, Cactus Jack, Reefzer, BG, Yo Marco, Quid Pro Joe, Snap Decisions Joe. If you check out the Snap Decisions podcast that released last night or this morning, I'm on it, so make sure you check that out. I talked about all things Marvel Snap and a bunch of MCU stuff too. DeCarlo220, check him out on Twitch. Models Monster Supreme, Biggity Boom Bot, Green Goblin, Unibot V2, who is doing some really cool stuff on Marvel Snap on the YouTube. Check it out. Blon56, The Spectrum Mix, Wood, Ocularis, Mad H DJ. Jinx, no freaking flex. Nick the Greek Geek streamed maybe 2 days in a row. I'm hoping. I haven't checked as I'm recording. Done. I'm going to see if Nick is live. Toxie, it's Toxic Soul King. Zodrex74, check him out on Twitch. Toxie as well, who I hope is asleep, but I know in my heart is not. The King of Canada, JGA. What's up, King of Canada? Check him out on Twitch, please. Then Man Falcon on YouTube. Thorn Newman on Twitch and YouTube. Jonesy Snap, the most underrated Marvel Snap YouTuber around. Two Ties, who does in fact wear two ties. The great Lauren Redevs, congrats on this week, my friend. Snap on this pod, check it out. The Pirate King Tucker, of course, going to be T, stands for. I hope you enjoyed this looking cards, and I will try my very best to have a second video today. If I cannot, hey, no worries. We'll do two tomorrow. Got you covered with the most Marvel Snap content.